Welcome to the Shenmue AM2 podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of the Shenmue AM2 podcast. We're your hosts, Andrew,
Matt,
and today we are here for episode 9. Today we'll be discussing our playthroughs of Disc 1 of Shenmue 2.
Hooray!
They made a second one. It just didn't stop at a cliffhanger ending on the first one.
Phew! Hope that doesn't happen at the end of this one.
14 years later.
Yeah.
Well, 15? No. Yeah, well, it's 2017 now, so we're like 16 years later.
No, we're old. We're playing on Dreamcast, so Japanese voices, European version with the boot disc.
Yep. One thing I want to talk about before my playthrough. So, I have Shenmue 2 for the Xbox, and I have an Xbox 360. I was like, no, I'll play it on the Dreamcast. But then I got thinking, the comic that they have in Shenmue 2 on the Xbox that explains what happened between Shenmue 1 and Shenmue 2 with Chai on the boat, the little girl and her mom. Were they just never intending to put that on the Dreamcast?
Yeah, was that created... When was that created? Was that created after Shenmue 2 and the Dreamcast came out? Or was it before?
I don't know.
I imagine it was probably before.
I was trying to look up dates as to when Shenmue 2 got released and when they initially announced the Shenmue 2 going to the Xbox, and I couldn't really line up those dates, but I don't know. If this never was on the Xbox, we would have never known that story.
You never would have known Chapter 2. What happened to Chapter 2?
I don't know, I just thought that was weird.
And then another thing with the Xbox version, I don't know what to consider the best version of Shenmue 2. Like, did you watch that Digital Foundry thing?
I did. I almost think... I don't know if all of the information he had in it was correct, because I think some of the minigames work.
Well, it's just, like, they all have their pluses. Like, the Dreamcast one is the original. It works fine. Everything's perfect. Like, some things could be better. And then the Xbox one, like, they improved some of the graphics. They, like, added shadows. Like, the buildings have shadows. They cast shadows on things and everything. Like, that's not in the Dreamcast one. But they added this muddy filter on everything that looks horrible. And then if you play that version on the 360, it's got emulation issues where it takes... Like, it still has some of the improvements from the Xbox version, but it takes away that muddy filter that, like, when you're fighting and stuff. And
I absolutely hate that filter on the Xbox.
Oh, it's horrible.
It has the shadow when you're fighting, so you hit the motion blur.
Yeah,
I cannot stand that.
That's gone in the 360. But so are the dynamic shadows that cast on everything.
The bloom lighting of everything kind of looking like there's a light behind it.
Yeah.
I really don't like that. All of those things are gone on the 360, but there's the emulation issues.
Yeah. And on the Xbox version and the 360 version have better load times too. Like, there's no clear winner. Like, they all have their...
I would love to say that the 360 version is the best because it has all the things I want, but the emulation issues, and to my understanding, when you play it on the 360, when you're moving the crates with Delin, the audio does not work.
Oh. You have to have subtitles on?
I think you have to have subtitles on because that game generates the audio as it goes, and that's the way the Xbox 360 loads the audio track. And again, this is technical beyond... I'm using layman's terms. It can't generate the random... That's really the only time there's random audio in it. Everything else, when you go to a certain spot, the music is set to that spot. As you get to certain parts of the game, all the dialogue from characters, the game knows to do those dialogues at that time. This is impossible. Because it's random. The dialogue is random. So yeah,
and when you play a certain arcade game, doesn't it lock up completely?
I think it does lock up for a couple of the arcade games. I want to try that. I want to get to that point.
I think I heard about something. There's some sort of issue with transparencies in one of the versions, like glass. You can't see through it. Can't remember which version that would be.
That might have just been a change they made too, though, because they did make some changes, some signage, some glass, some of the backgrounds. But yeah, there really isn't a definitive version of this.
Shenmue HD.
Shenmue HD. Shenmue HD.
Do the best. Do all the things that we like the best.
Yeah.
Give me those shadows that cast on things and stuff.
I think I've actually only played the Shenmue 2 Xbox version, I think, once.
Yeah, me
to
too.
hear the English dialogue, just to play through.
Yeah.
And it was weird because, really, I just wanted to hear what Ren's voice was like in English. I've never looked it up on YouTube or anything before I had played it.
It's one of the better ones.
So let's hop into this.
Okay. My first note is 22 blocks versus 80 blocks. How does that work for the memory card? Like, the original game was 80 blocks to save, right? And this one is 22, I believe.
But Shenmue 2 does 2 save files. There's like a one based on where you are in the game, and then a general save file as well.
So it's really, what? How many blocks, really?
I didn't check.
Okay.
But I will say, going into the memory card screen, now that I have my Dreamcast hooked up through VGA, you know how in Shenmue 2 they're animated, the save files, like with either like Ryo, Feng Mei, Zhuing, those look exponentially better done through a VGA box. I can't even begin to explain how much better they look.
Nice.
I just happened to be going through, and it looked really great. My first note is when you get to... one other difference, too. Just kind of talking about this. The very start of the game, the water effects in the Xbox version apparently are exponentially better.
Oh, yeah, they are.
They're way better.
They show it in the Digital Foundry video, yeah. And the ship itself is like... The model is better.
Yeah, there's a bit more detail on it. When you get into... When you're pulling in through the opening cinematic, they're panning through different areas of... is it Hong Kong? Yeah, it's Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Just kind of showing the hustle and bustle of the city and what to expect. And I think that sets a good tone with regards to making this world instantly feel bigger.
Yeah.
You feel like a tourist.
Especially when you get off the boat immediately.
Especially when you get off the boat.
All the grifters.
And then I like when he gets off the boat, the shot starts at his feet and pans up, just to literally show him step into China.
Yeah.
Both figuratively and literally.
China, I am in you.
Rest in peace, Joni Laurer.
So yeah, there's a bunch of grifters.
Hey, handsome boy!
You get the full tourist experience. I walked into the Free Stay Lodge real quick, and there's a random philosophical hobo in there. Have you ever seen that guy?
Oh yeah, I talked to him.
Yeah, he's like, "Why do rivers flow?" I'm like, "What?"
Did you give him the answer he wanted?
I don't think I did.
My next one is I started with 116 Chinese currency. Sorry for not knowing what that is.
Dollars.
Hong Kong dollars. I wanted to just boot up the Xbox version just because I don't have a save file, just to see what you get if you don't use a continuous playthrough file. Because I played the PAL version of the first one.
Yeah,
so my save file came through, and I just wanted to see what number they randomly picked.
How much was yours?
I had $1,116.
I can't remember. It's over 500. I'm pretty sure. I think it's probably around 1,000.
This time too with this playthrough, the first one I don't want to say I rushed through it, but I played through it in an efficient manner. This one I really took my time, and I tried to get as close to 100% as I could on this game. And I'll kind of discuss the things I missed and why I missed them.
So did you do the thing that every Shenmue fan on the second playthrough knows that you can do, where you buy a bunch of toys and souvenirs?
I bought every lighter in the first stand. I did not buy... Can you buy the crystal stones in the first stand? I don't think you can.
There's there's a stand around the fountain. There's some stands there. There's some stands before the fountain. There's some stands on the fight roof.
I mean the one with the like immediately when you get off the ferry.
No, I think I went right past that one.
But yeah, I people do kind of, and that's.
I mean, if you know you're going to lose your money, but you get to keep all of your toys, it's only logical that you buy all the toys, then you lose your money, then you get everything back but the money, and then you just sell all those toys for money.
Yeah. One thing I do, and I have no idea why I do this, I need to get all of the maps, and I need to get all of the pawn shop flyers right away.
There's a lot of pawn shops.
I don't know why, but those are the first two things I do.
Wow.
And I actually missed one of the maps. And I think it's right when you get off the boat, and once you go through that little hallway, you cannot go back.
Oh, really?
When they start doing construction to upgrade it.
That's odd. What's there that they wouldn't want you to experience again?
The Free Stay Lodge.
Well, they could just board that up and everything else you got.
That rat hole of a hotel. Something I would have liked to have seen, and if for some reason I remembered it differently, when they play the music and you get to choose whether or not you want to put in money or not, I remember getting to choose the amount, but you don't. It's just $10. But I would have liked to have been able to pick the amount. I don't know why. Maybe get a different conversation based on how much money you put in.
I hate when that happens in games where they give you the option to donate certain amounts of money. I'm like, oh, why are you making me do this? Just give me a flat fee. I don't want
a flat fee.
Like, I hate having to risk, like, okay, I'll go all in, $500, and it's the exact same as if you donated $1, and you don't know. You just get screwed. I hate that. I never liked the arm wrestling.
Oh my god, I'm bad at it.
I seem to remember being bad at it too. Maybe just the first time you do it is super easy. Because it was super easy.
I botched it the first time.
Oh, okay. I remember being horrible at it. Like 10 years ago, last time I played Shenmue 2 or whatever. But
you hadn't played it like 10 years?
Well, I always start Shenmue 2. I think I've only finished Shenmue 2 once, maybe twice. That's it. I've finished Shenmue 1 many times. But Shenmue 2, it's just, I don't know.
Internet, I would love to see, or for you guys to be able to see the face I'm looking at Navin right now. One thing I do want to try with the arm wrestling is, I mentioned a few episodes ago, I bought that black Sega Sports Dreamcast.
Yeah.
It came with a Sega Sports controller, but it also came with a third-party controller that has turbo. I would like to see if I do turbo in the arm wrestling, if it's even possible to lose.
Well, I might be thinking of a different game. They never mix it up and start throwing directions that you gotta press. It's always just hit one button. That's it.
I only did it the once, when I got through this playthrough, because you don't get rewarded other than financially for doing the arm wrestling. So I just didn't bother with it.
No achievements back then. Can't platinum Shenmue 2.
Can't platinum Shenmue 2. The arm wrestling's never done it for me. I think the graphics on that first arm wrestler are terrible.
Jimenez Garcia?
Yeah, Jimenez Garcia. Yeah, his graphics are bad. It cracks me up. I mentioned earlier, handsome boy.
Yeah.
It's in Japanese voiceovers, but every once in a while a piece of English slips in.
Yeah, well, I mean, it would make sense if they knew he was Japanese and they could both speak a little bit of English. They just use that language as a bridge. But so yeah, why are there so many lighters for sale? Is this factually accurate to Hong Kong? Is there lighters for sale everywhere?
I don't know, but did you know there's not all Zippos? There's fake ones called Zuppos. I learned that when I was looking up, because I missed one of the stands. Mm-hmm. I think it was the Fight Roof, the stand there, and I just couldn't find. You can't get those lighters later on in the game. But yeah, I found out there's Zippos and Zuppos. Mm-hmm. And I think that is why when you look at them on the stand, the stand is tilted back a bit, because you can actually see on the bottom of the lighter whether it's a Zippo or a Zuppo. But yeah, it's weird that they sell lighters
And they sell sets of 3 toys in like a blind pack. Like,
those are important though, because there's some toys in this game that you can only get in those boxes.
Well, at first, when I was like, I got to spend all my money so I can sell these toys, I was doing it one at a time in the capsule toy thing, and I was like, this is going to take forever. So I just walked away, and then I was like, oh yeah, you can buy like sets. So I just bought all the sets, and my money went real quick.
Why didn't you just buy lighters?
I bought those too. I bought lighters, and I bought sets of toys.
The sets are more expensive because I think they're $25 and you only get 3 as opposed to being $5 each. But there's ones that you cannot get in vending machines throughout the game. The little girl from the comic, when you talk to her and her mom, she knows Rio's name. I thought that was kind of neat. When you talk to her outside the Free State Lodge, which has the sketchiest crooked sign of all time.
I mean, it's free.
Yeah, it is. So are the bed bugs that come with it. Free State Lodge does have a winning can in it.
What do you mean, just lying around?
Yep.
Oh.
And you can pick it up off the shelf. And in Shenmue 2, instead of taking the winning can to Tomato Convenience, you just get an item right away.
Oh.
You pick up the winning can, and then it makes the, like, sound. And it was like, fairy. I got the fairy.
Is it, like, in the can?
And in this, on the Dreamcast version, if you have the red and blue forklift already, you cannot get them in the Free State Lodge. They're not there. Which I thought was weird. Because if you don't have them in your toy inventory, you go in, they're there. Both of them are in that room. That really, really sketchy. It's like Hostel, the movie.
Yeah. Just with more philosophical hobos. I love the look of the areas in the beginning of this game. They look just exactly as you would imagine Hong Kong, looking like just bamboo construction everywhere. And lots of fire escapes and stuff. Packed, tight buildings. Just interesting architecture all around.
Yeah, and it's like
a lot of vertical building, just up higher and higher.
It's crazy. There's a girl I work with was telling me about a documentary she watched, and the entire population of Canada, if we lived in China, we'd be like on the 34th floor and up of buildings. Like, just to fit our population in, the entire population of Canada, which is like 32 million people, if we went there, we'd fill all the buildings from like the 32nd floor up, or 34th floor.
We wouldn't even need the bottom ones.
We wouldn't. No, like there's just, it's such a vertical city, and their real estate's so high off the ground. I do like how they illustrated that once you get into past the Free State Lodge,
past all the secret arm wrestling places, like there's like back alley arm wrestling. Like, just why is it so sketchy?
There's like the brickwork on the buildings is really nice on the waterfront.
Yeah,
and then as you get into once you go down, is it Queen Street?
Yeah.
Once you get past Queen Street, then you go across the Red Bridge over the highway or the road there. It does change. Interesting way of designing it, but that's how a lot of cities are, is a lot of nice architecture and stuff, right? Because they want you to, oh, this is St. John, New Brunswick. When you pull into the harbor, everything's nice, and then, not saying everything isn't nice once you get past that, but you only get to make a good first impression once, I guess. Yep.
So, yeah, the vending machines are Sapporo vending machines. Is there alcohol in these vending machines? I couldn't tell.
I don't think there is. I think they're...
So does Sapporo make soft drinks?
They might. They make premium beer. Since 1876, according to this can.
The other time... All the other times I played Shenmue 2, I don't think I made Rio drink out of the vending machines very often, because I was looking at all the different types of things. I was like, none of them looked familiar. I was like, trying to read what they were and stuff.
This isn't a jet soda.
Yeah. And then when Japanese Rio drinks, it's so different than the English one. Like, it's kind of orgasmic. And he kind of...
For you watching it, or for him?
No, for him. He's like, he makes noises. Like, he stands in the corner, too. He, like, plants himself in the corner and kind of hides, and he drinks it, and he's like... I wrote it down here. Yeah. It's like, yeah.
How do you hold on? How did you spell? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me read your notes here. Nyeeaahh.
Yeah, that's just how it sounds. Yeah.
I never really noticed that, Matt.
I think he has a couple different voice
I
lines.
think that's the sound Matt makes watching it.
Yeah.
I like how they introduced the pawn shop flyers to you right away. There's one of them in the Free Stay Lodge. Not, painting everyone with a broad brush, saying everyone that goes to the Free Stay Lodge is poor, needs to use pawn shops. But, if the shoe fits.
What about that racist black guy? Why is he there?
What?
The racist black guy.
I have no idea what you're talking
He like stereotypes you as a Japanese person. You never talk to him?
In the Free Stay Lodge?
No. He's like around the fountain, usually. He's like a guy with dreads, and you talk to him, and he's like,
oh!
He's like, we met last year in Kobe. Hey, Tanaka-san, or whatever. And you're like, my name's not Tanaka-san. We never met in Kobe. He's like, oh, I thought all Japanese people were either Tanaka-san, Suzuki-san, or like whatever. Like,
I think the three names he uses are like producers for Shenmue.
Okay, it's just like he's very racist.
He's one of the guys you play darts against.
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't meet him there. I met him at.
I did see him at a bar. Or something.
I met him in the South Carmine Quarter.
Oh.
The mat. So when you're leaving to go from the pier where you get off the boat into like the workers' pier, or not the workers' pier, the one where the fountain is. There's a palm reader that you can go and talk to, and the mat that she has sitting on her table has a phoenix on it, and I think there's a dragon on it too. Yeah, there's a phoenix and a dragon on it.
Ominous.
Yeah. Maybe you can just ask her how the game ends.
Yeah.
Maybe if you just stand there enough times.
Yeah, he didn't even bother asking her about the mirrors. So, do you have anything else before you meet Joy? Because my next thing's about Joy.
I do. Once you get onto the pier where the fountain is, when you're coming from like the first arm wrestling one and you turn right to walk towards the fountain, those stands on the left, there's a little there's a toy capsule machine stuck in one of those.
And there's secret arm wrestling in between a couple of the stalls too. Can you get to the toy capsule, or is it just there?
Yeah, you can use it. It's I think a Virtua Fighter one.
Okay.
But yeah, it was kind of, there's a lot of the toy capsule ones hidden in here in this game. In the first one, they're just kind of where you'd expect them to be, outside the arcade, in the canteen, or the lunch place at the harbor outside of
logical places.
Abe store.
Yeah.
Let's see if I have anything else here. Challenge arm wrestler, lost immediately. So one of the in the secret arm wrestling place there on the pier, I love how they have like a hype man.
Yeah.
And and I played rugby in high school, so I have a bit of knowledge about this, but he says he's a rugby player from the World Cup games. He was their best quarterback. Rugby doesn't have a quarterback. Football has a quarterback.
Maybe either he's bullshitting or the writers just don't know anything.
I don't know. I just thought that was either a really funny joke or they just don't know. Also, I bought a Zippo from one of the guys on the pier, and then he immediately started a conversation with me, asking me if I wanted to buy something, and I had already purchased something.
Yeah, I think I had something like that happen too.
And yeah, some of that might have actually happened after I met Joy.
Okay. I was wondering, why are the Poison Bros scared of Joy?
Why is anyone scared of Joy?
I know, everyone is enamored with Joy or scared of her. What does she do to get people under her thumb like this?
I don't know.
We never find out, do we?
We don't find out in this one. I think, based on the trailer of Shenmue Online, I think you would discover that, and they obviously, I think, have to address it in Shenmue 3. She's going to be in Shenmue 3.
She's kind of... would you say she's a member of Ren's gang? Honorary member, maybe?
I think after this game, yes.
Yeah.
But she also has something to do with Master Chen, too.
Yeah, that's true. Just maybe the connection with Ren is what makes people afraid to mess with her.
That could be it.
So I suck at QTEs really bad. Like, Wong ran away, stole my stuff, ran away. I didn't catch him the first time. He got away.
I didn't catch... did I catch him? No, I don't think I caught him the first time.
Yeah. And then you come across him the second time and he's like enjoying some candy with kids or something.
Okay, no, oh yeah. So yeah, you don't get to redo that first QTE, do you?
No, you
okay,
have to find him again.
I did catch him again. Or I did catch him the first time.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Yeah, the second time he's like eating candy with kids or something. You gotta like jump over them.
I played darts right away at the jazz bar, I think it is, on the pier by the fountain. Mm-hmm. The old man was the guy that I faced, and he didn't even make it to 120. I barely made it past 120. I'm usually fairly good at the darts, but he hyped up his game, and then he didn't even make it to the second round.
Oh, is he? Do they have a set skill? Like, is one always harder than the other? All the challengers?
No, they all just play, like, some of the games might be modified to see who gets the most, like, bullseyes or something. I don't think the rules are always the same for them. But between the 5 different guys you can face.
Yeah. One of the improvements in this game that I really love is the follow feature. When you're like in the first game, if you're wondering where something is, and you ask somebody who's walking along the street, generally they'll tell you to ask somebody else. Like the people walking, don't bother with them in the first game. But in the second game, they'll all be like, "Oh, I was just..." Like, they'll be going the complete opposite direction of where you end up asking where to go. And they're like, "Oh, I was just going there. Want to come with me?" And you're like, "Sure." And then they turn around and go the opposite way from what they were just doing, but whatever. But you can just follow them, and it requires no input from you at all. You just, you can let go of your controller if you want. But, like, for me, I always just take in the sights, and I just use the analog stick and look around and have him automatically walk.
I think it's weird that you can still run while you're following, and you can run for, like, 4 steps to catch up to them, and then you're just there. I find that one of the things that's detrimental to the game, though.
Why?
Is not every character has a daily routine.
Oh, yeah, because there's too many.
There's too many. Like, you'll see the same guy on the pier, and then you'll see him, like, practicing in the park by a tree or something. Doing Tai Chi or something.
I think there's just too many people to keep track of for that system. Yeah.
It's too big, and I don't know, I think that's one of the reasons why I like the first one more.
Yeah.
What's up with the guy that sells pigeon food? Just sleeping? I don't think he ever wakes up.
He's dead.
He's just in a slumber.
He's dead. Oh, about the following thing. If you're going to follow somebody, the best people to follow are children, because they run, they don't walk. The children, you'll get there slightly faster.
The Shenmue AM2 podcast does not endorse following children.
They're hey mister, like, I can take you there. Okay.
Yeah. What else? The baseball fan, the guy, when you play darts, he's actually just called the baseball fan. He predicts that we'll meet again. He's outside the fountain on the pier, and he is right, because I did meet him. That was part of my trying to 100% this game, was to play all the darts characters so you can unlock them on the Shenmue 4 disc.
I think the only dart guy I ran across was like the gentleman guy or whatever.
And by Shenmue 4 disc, I mean disc 4 of Shenmue 2.
Yes.
And why is it when you go into the menu of disc 1, you can be like, oh, Shenmue collection, and it just tells you to put in disc 4.
Yeah. So yeah, if you mention Joy's name at the little motel or hotel there, you get a discount. Who knows why?
She's doing favors.
Yeah.
Speaking of Joy, when you get on her motorcycle when she takes you there,
You do not
she
touch her.
yells, "Hang on!"
And you don't. Well, maybe you hang on the back, but it's also the game. Yes.
Thanks, Matt.
Hang on, I get it. But yeah, he like keeps his hands off, and that seems to work with her. Like the hard to get thing, like he just keeps blowing her off. That seems to work. She's definitely interested in Rio and how he keeps like not caring.
Do you think she's interested in him? I don't.
Well, maybe not like romantically, but she keeps coming back for more to like figure out what he's all about. Because he keeps blowing her off. He's like, whatever. And like, I don't need you, basically. And she's like, she'll follow him again and like try to talk to him again.
Do you think it's coincidence that they met? I don't.
You think?
I think it was a plan by Master Chen, so she could watch over him instead of Gui Zhang.
Yeah, maybe
Because she has some sort of authority in this town, and I don't think it was a chance encounter.
that's true. Could be true.
And her music is awesome.
Yep, Scarletto. It's the same. I think it's the same band from the motorcycle ride in the first game.
I think it is.
Yeah. Another new thing here is context-sensitive button inputs on the screen. Like if you're close to a door, the X, the
yellow one
will turn into a door. Yeah, and that's helpful to know when you're close to things. And
it will also not turn into a door and then turn back to a door as well, which is incredibly frustrating.
And there's a button I think there's a button to specifically ask about money, like how to make money. And I like the speak option is just like a pair of luscious lips. Rio's luscious lips.
Like Chapstick will be one of the sponsors in the third game.
Yeah.
I only moved 5 crates on my first day of work. I was terrible at it.
I can't remember how many I did. I dropped it maybe 3 times near the beginning, and then I didn't drop it anymore. But I'm never doing crates again. Besides the first time you have to.
Yeah.
It's so much worse than forklifts.
Yeah, whatever the job works out to be, because I do believe there'll be some sort of job in the third one. It's kind of like a... What's the word I'm looking for here, Matt?
It had better be better than this, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even get the logistics of why you're doing it. Like, you're just moving it about, like, 10 feet from one pile to another. And, like... And
you're going from point A to point B to point C to point D to point E, when you can just go A to B.
Yeah.
Move those crates in a straight line, Dylan.
Yeah. I don't know. It's so weird.
Oishi, Kidarda, Nida, Kidarda.
Miggy. Yeah, he's got a very annoying voice when you use, or especially when he's like,
how do you spell? Do you have that one written down?
No, I didn't write that one out. It's just burned into my memory. Oh yeah, so again, like, I'm just amazed by the scope of this game. Like, there's so many lines recorded for directions, asking where things, like, if he's asking somebody where things are. Every single person has like, sometimes they'll point, like, they'll be like, you go left here, you took it right there, like, there's so many characters, and they all have their own voices, and they all have to have accurate directions recorded for every single place that you have to go in this game at any point. It's kind of like I wouldn't want to have to write and record that whole section.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
The vending machine for Virtual, and I touched on this earlier.
Oh, one more thing. Sorry. It's like, yeah, there's so many things, and this is like way before something like Skyrim, where everybody was making fun of it because of, like, oh, I took an arrow to the knee. Because every second character said, I took an arrow to the knee. You know, like, just so much more variety. Sorry, I cut you off.
I touched on this earlier, the vending machine for the Virtual Lawn toys. My God, that's hidden.
Where's it at?
It's in the pawn shop part of the, not the Lucky Charm quarter, the Wise Men's quarter.
Right before the temple?
Yeah, where the pawn shops are in that little block down the ramp. You go, like, through 3 sides of that building, and it's at the end of this long, just alleyway. There's no reason for it to be there, and they're just hidden throughout the whole game. But it adds to the adventure part.
Yeah. There's a few alleys to nowhere that I've noticed in this game. And, like, it's very easy to get lost in this game compared to the first one. Like, there's just so much area to cover.
Yeah.
So many winding roads.
This playthrough, I mean, I played this game for a long time. And I know there's, like, certain places that go to the next quarter, but there's a lot of them. It's hard to memorize. But again, it's that feeling of being somewhere that you're not familiar with.
Yeah.
What else do you have?
The only pawn shop I went into to sell all my toys, I didn't bother comparing prices and stuff, was the Honest Pawn Shop, which doesn't sound sketchy at all. Honest Pawn Shop.
I think Honest Pawn Shop is one of the better ones.
Oh, good.
So when you're trying to find out information about who Li Xiao Tao is, when you go to the Yanton Apartments and bribe the guy in room 205...
That's what you're thinking of, probably, where you get to choose.
When he asks, are you Li Xiao Tao? He's like, can't you tell? And I'm like, I never really caught on to that line before. And I'm like, oh yeah, because she's a woman. He's not. That cracked me up. Now,
I wonder if Li Xiao Tao is a female name, and Rio just doesn't know because he's Japanese.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I mean, like, in my job, I speak with people from all over the world, and if their name isn't, like, a Western name, I have no idea if they're male or female.
Yeah.
Did you man any of the Lucky Hit stands and try to lure people into play?
I haven't done that yet. I will probably have to do that next time, but I remember that well.
I did one in the South Carmaine quarter. Only one person played, and he played twice. He walked away, he came back, he played again.
Did he win both times?
No, I won both times.
No.
And then he was actually coming back for a third play when the guy who owns the stand came back. I thought that cracked me up.
He's taking this guy's life savings. I never do the Lucky Hit stands just because... I mean, it's fun to do them once or twice, but I never do it to actually make money. Because you always go up and down, and you don't make consistent money with it. So, I don't know. I'm not sure.
They are tough to make money on.
Yeah, and it's such a long time to see if you're going to even make any money. You're locked into that for quite a while.
Yeah, it can be time-consuming.
What is the best way to make money in this game? Is it just the crates, even though it's horrible?
No, gambling.
Okay. Well, that's a chance, too. Like, that's not guaranteed either. Like, what's the best guaranteed income?
Best guaranteed income?
It's gotta be the crates.
No, yeah, the crates are guaranteed income. Yeah, for guaranteed income, it has to be the crates.
Because anything else, you could lose money, right? Well, I guess you don't lose your own money.
You don't lose your own money with the Lucky Hit stand. You just might not make any money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the crates would be guaranteed money.
Lame.
Now, gambling, I mean, theoretically, you can save your game and, hit the 4 buttons and the start button to reset.
Yeah.
And just gamble again if you lose.
Yeah, that's true. But
not that I'm guilty of that. Don't judge me.
Well, what do you need money for besides the come-over guest house?
You need money to pay rent.
Pay rent?
Rent.
Oh, rent.
Oh, you don't have to pay the come-over guest house. You can just leave.
Oh, no, they will take it from you later. I remember that.
No, you can just not pay. if you...
I'm pretty sure Joy, like, forcibly takes it from you if you have it at a later point, like when you're going to Kowloon or something.
I don't think she does. I think you can just simply not pay. What were we talking about? No, so the big one in before you go to Kowloon is paying Ren the $500. Now, if you're trying to, do as close to a complete run through as possible, you're going to need a lot of money to buy all the vending machine things.
Well, I knew I didn't want to have to do like menial jobs and stuff, so I tried to get out of the come over guest house as soon as possible. So I only had to stay there 2 nights. And then basically that's the end of the game. I didn't know it was, or the end of the disc. I didn't know it was so quick. So I just sped through this disc. So I spent 2 nights in come over guest house, and then the next time you're staying with Li Xiaotao.
when you went to the Yantin apartments, did you go upstairs to meet Wang's brother?
No.
Did you know you could do that?
I may have done that years ago. I'll have to go check.
Yeah, you go up and he's just at the end of a hallway and he turns around. And I think it's even the exact same character model, like face-wise.
Yeah.
He's not wearing the delivery boy outfit for... Is it Ajiichi?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But he looks identical to him.
Does he say he's his brother?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That's quite a coincidence.
Well, I think Rio thinks he's Wang.
Is his name Wang?
Yeah. Well, in Shenmue 1, his name's Wang.
Yeah.
This guy's... I don't know if he actually says his name in it or not. I don't remember. I won the darts machine right away.
You won it?
Yep. So the little mini one. My first time playing darts, I played it at the... like a regular game of darts. Not against anyone. At the Liverpool place. And I get the machine right away.
Cool. The old guy. Jinmen? Is that his name?
Yep. The one who makes you hit the tree?
Yeah. So he thought he could guess Ryo's style just by the way he stands and walks. I thought that was kind of odd. Like, I wasn't sure, like... I remember him being, like, a master, but I'm sure the first time I played this, I was like, is this guy for real, or what?
He's in Lotus Park, isn't he?
Is it Manmo Park, or is it Lotus Park?
No, Manmo Park's the one up by Scarlet Hills. Lotus Park, though, it's the one that he's in, has some capsule toy Lucky Hit games, and the prizes in them, there's some rare ones. Like, there's gold Dural in there, silver Dural, the Dural Kid version. There's some good prizes in those, and they're easy to get.
They're easy to get?
Yeah, way easier than trying to get them out of the machine.
Just a random thing I thought of. Can it even rain in this game? I don't think it can. There's no rain in Hong Kong, is there?
I don't think there is.
Yeah.
I don't think there's really weather at all in this game.
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate.
Random note. I'm just going to read this directly as I have my note written. Guy at Manmo Temple with a Hitler stash.
Is that...
just one of the other people that work there.
Just some guy?
Yep.
Somebody's got to keep that trend going. The palm strike on the tree that Jinmen teaches you, is that random? When it goes around the wheel and it goes into the yellow, and you have to hit it in the yellow, but sometimes it doesn't go all the way up and it stops and it goes back. Like, is there a pattern or is it random?
If there is a pattern, it's a long one because it seems random.
That's not fair.
No. Now, did you notice when you were doing that on the VMU it shows you a meter of how many times you forcibly hit the tree?
No.
So yeah, on the VMU there's a little meter, and the harder, the more you get into the yellow, the faster that meter grows. But then I was thinking...
So you know how close you are to being done.
How close you are. But then I was like, what if I was playing this on the Xbox? I don't have that meter.
I didn't have that meter because my VMU that I have in my controller doesn't have a screen on it, because it's the 4-slot VMU.
Oh, yeah.
There's no screen on it. And, I was just like, when is this going to end? And then I get pissed off every time it did, like, a fake-out, and it was like, alright, it's going to the yellow. Oh, it didn't even go into the yellow. It was...
So, you shouldn't get mad, though. That's... The whole thing is not... Isn't that one of the 4 voodoo?
Yeah. One of the 4 woodoos. Don't get mad when the thing fakes you out and doesn't go into the yellow. What?
That's the 5th voodoo. It's a lot less known.
Yeah.
They don't really get into it.
No.
What do you have for your next?
There's a note here that I don't understand.
What's it say?
It says in quotations, it says, "Come with me. Very useful." Who says?
Is that following? Is that what you mean?
So I guess I made that note twice. But following, yeah.
So while learning the 4 voodoo, I played this in some pretty long sessions. So when you get to the one where you go to the mall and you have to break the rock with the other rock, I fell asleep.
What do you mean?
Me, Andrew, I fell asleep playing Shenmue, and I woke up to him just preparing to swing that rock. I don't know how long I was sleeping, but yeah,
all your spectators were gone.
I've fallen asleep playing video games a lot lately. Playing Yakuza 5, just wake up and me running into a guardrail on the long side of the road. Just
are you playing too late at night?
No, I have no idea what it is. But yeah, I broke the rock on the second attempt. I didn't get it on the first one.
I think I got it on the third attempt, maybe, if they give you 3 attempts.
This homeless guy was much less philosophical too, compared to the Free State Lodge guy.
But he was like wearing a dead porcupine on his head.
Yeah, like it looks like he combed his hair with a firecracker.
His hair is horrible. He even has like a porcupine tail part like in the back. There's so many, like, the mall is completely dead. There's no stores you can go in, but just all the areas around the mall. Just all the streets in Hong Kong in general, there's so many stores I don't think I've ever been in any of my playthroughs. There's just so many stores, and then, like, I think I said this in the last episode, but there's, like, not really any point in going into most of them, unless you're looking for secrets, I guess, but even then, a lot of them don't hold any secrets. It's just, you go in there, you talk to the bartender or the shopkeeper, and they say the exact same bit of information that somebody outside would have told you. But this way, you go through load times twice. So why would you even go in there? Like, I just wish there was more to do in the shops. I wish you could. There's an ice cream shop that I just noticed in this playthrough that I never noticed before. I'm like, why can't Rio have ice cream? I went in the ice cream shop, let him order an ice cream.
Matt's visibly frustrated right now.
God,
the bars do all serve a purpose though, because of the
darts.
The dart players are on a rotation too, and that rotation stops if you. Oh, we'll talk about it in Disc 2 when we'll do our discussion of Disc 2. You can make that rotation stop. When you get to the Manmo Temple, did you intrude or not intrude?
I intruded.
I intruded as well.
Doesn't seem very Rio-like, but I did it anyways.
Yeah.
Speaking of shops, there was one funny instance where I went into the wrong... When you're looking for the barber shop, I went into the wrong barber shop. I went into the one, like, right next door to the one that you're supposed to go into, and I asked him where the other one was, it was right next door, and he's like, are our haircuts not good enough for you, son? I was like, no, I don't want a haircut. I'm looking for this guy. It's kind of funny.
I've never encountered that before.
Yeah, just go into the haircut place right beside the one you're actually supposed to go into, to the right of it.
The pawn shops also serve another purpose because you can go and see. They show a list of everything that belongs in a set. So if you don't know what's supposed to be in a set, like say for example you want the Virtua Fighter set, you can plug money into that machine all day and never get a gold Dural or a wooden man.
Yeah. But,
after some point in time playing, you're like, oh, alright, I have all of them. But then you go to the pawn shop and you're like, oh, there is one that I'm missing. So they serve that purpose to show you kind of an inventory of what you can collect.
Speaking of the wood, is that real? I never even thought to look into it. It's probably not real. It's probably made up.
I guarantee if you search Google for Voodoo, everything will be Shenmue related.
Yeah. I failed. I remember the first time I played, I failed the barber thing at least 3 times, where you're not supposed to press the button.
This time, I wanted to save. I wanted to have a save file right before it.
Why?
So I could just keep doing it to get the bad ending.
Oh.
Or...
that would take a while.
The other thing you can use that for is the Fang Mi side quest. To the whole birthday thing with her. I played through Shenmue the first one efficiently, so when I get to Shenmue 2, I'm nowhere near her birthday. I have like a month and a half to waste.
Yeah.
So you can use the barbershop to speed up the time to get to that too, if you want to do it.
So yeah, Zhu Ying is Li Xiaotao. Rio is very taken aback that it's a woman, martial arts master. And she wants to fight with him, and he can't even touch her. And it just makes me wonder, how weak is Rio? Like, if we're talking like Dragon Ball Z power levels, like, how do they stand? Like, I feel like Zhu Ying would stand no chance against Lan Di, probably. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're on an equal level. Like, maybe they're just as good as each other. But it feels like she shouldn't be as good as Lan Di. And if Rio can't even touch her, like, just how good is Lan Di? And, like, Rio can barely touch Jinmen, that old guy in the park. So, like, it's like he has so far to go before he can even stand a chance against Lan Di. But he's still able to beat up, like, a regular everyday dude with no problem. Like, he's, like, exponentially better than the average person, but...
maybe that's why this was, like, originally 16 chapters.
Yeah, that would be why, because we still got a lot to do. That's why I don't think people should want it to end with Shenmue 3. That's not how it was meant to be, obviously.
I think people just want it to end with Shenmue 3 because they don't want to take the risk of the story not ending.
Yeah.
I would, you know, if I had 5 more Shenmue games in my lifetime, I would absolutely love that. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to take the chance.
You got anything else? I only got one.
Those are my notes for this one.
Well, the only one I got left is, like, Zhu Ying, she lets you stay with her in her place, and Rio's like, there's only one bed. But she's like, you're sleeping on the couch. But after she falls asleep, he, like, looks at her. He, like, gives her a longing gaze. And this is, like, the only time he seems to be interested. Like, his interest is piqued by this woman. And I think it's just because she's a martial artist. Like, all these other women who are throwing themselves at him, they don't give a shit about martial arts. And, like, this one is, like, into the same thing as him. And that intrigues him. Like, she's stronger than him. And that's why he, like, she's the only one that he shows an interest like that in, I think.
It's almost like he's just trying to figure her out.
Yeah. I loved Zhu Ying. She's one of my favorite characters.
I think she's one of my favorite characters, too.
She ranked really low in that popularity poll.
I mean, and that's the thing. There's a lot of other, like, there's funny characters like Tom and Goro.
I love a good martial arts master, though.
Do you think, going back to the 4 Wudu, we have the Jinmin, we have the lady from Yanton Apartments, we have the guy at the school, and we have the barber?
Yeah.
Do you think the barber fits in with the other 3? I always thought he was just one of these things does not belong.
Well, it's kind of... I mean, in the first game, they had the traditional Chinese trades that were actually, like, secret assassins or secret guards of the emperor or whatever, like the barber, the tailor, the cook, or whatever.
3 blades?
3 blades, yeah. So it fits in with the 3 blades.
Yeah. I just thought, like, he's... I don't know. He always seemed different to me.
He looks like... He seems kind of like that, the guy in the mall. He seems like he may have been into it, like, hardcore at some point into the martial arts, and now he's just like a bum.
I'm just looking at a picture of the 4 of them on my phone, and he looks way younger than the rest of them.
Yeah.
He doesn't, I don't know. He just doesn't seem to fit into me. Fit in to me. So yeah, that's disc 1. It ends when you spend the first night at Zhu Ying's, and I must say I absolutely love the different looks on Rio's face when Fang Mei wakes him up, and he's just like, ugh, get out of here.
That's in the next disc.
That's in disc 2, though.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add to the rest of this one?
Just that this went much faster than I remembered. I guess I just didn't dawdle, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to have to break out that, like, I don't want to miss the the duck races and the Eileen and the Izumi fights and stuff. That's all in disc 2, right? Like,
you can really slow it down on disc 2.
Yeah.
When you get the Wulin shoe book, don't do anything with it. And the game comes to a grinding halt.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure there was nothing I had to do in disc 1 in order to trigger those things on disc 2.
No.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm going to have to look at my, at those, player's guides that you got me for how to, unlock those things. Because they're very well hidden. I don't know how you would ever find some of these things without a guide.
The duck race, I think, might be the most obscure hidden thing in all of video games. When you look at the steps that you have to do the entire duck race storyline, and I mean like to the very end of it, it is absolutely ridiculous. And we'll talk about that in disc 2 or disc 3.
Yeah.
Probably disc 2.
Cool.
Alright, well, anything else, Matt?
No, that's it.
Alright.
Where can we be found?
We are Shenmue AM2 podcast on YouTube. Again, please subscribe. We need 100 subscribers to get that custom URL so we can actually be youtube.com/Shenmue AM2 podcast. We are Shenmue AM2 podcast on iTunes. We are Shenmue AM2 podcast on Facebook. We have both a group and a page there. And we are Shenmue AM2 podcast at gmail.com. So if you have any feedback, any ideas you want to see on future episodes, please hit us up there. Please like and share our videos on YouTube. All of that. We're Shenmue AM2 podcast on the Shenmue Dojo. We have a thread going there in the forums.
This episode was brought to you by the Free Stay Lodge.
Free Stay Lodge. Still better than Howard Johnson's. Bye, guys.
Bye.